All right, so let's get rocking and rolling. So first and foremost, I love brands. Branding is my life now. So I wanted to take you behind some scenes of what is branding. Really quickly, branding is what ranchers did back in the day to claim their property. They put a brand on their cattle. Then it led to manufacturers. Manufacturers needed to show everybody in the world whose stuff was theirs, so they put their brand on the side of boxes. Then it went to the advertisers. Of course, we all know Coca-Cola. And the advertisers blew it up. What we know in the world today of marketing and advertising, which is crazy. This is a quick depiction of Coca-Cola over the last number of years and just how their brand has changed to stay relevant. One fact, I love Coke, so much so that they like to cater to the young kids as well. So that's me at age 5 with my Coke shirt. All right, this is a phrase that I usually do at every presentation. Every interaction is a brand building opportunity. Think about that. It really is truthful when you're sitting here, even if you're doing a one-to-one. As Carl said, he was having a meeting in a cafe and he had an opportunity. So stop and think that every time you connect with somebody, how you make a first impression and how that might work for you. So really, let's get to the meat of this. The brand of Bryan, that's what we're here to hear about. You've heard me talk about marketing and advertising over the year, and I will continue to talk about it, but I wanted to give you a quick, here's a little bit more about me. So, I was born with a Y because my parents knew that I was going to be creative and a team player. There's no I in Bryan. Lifshitz. This is the important part. Lifshitz. What I tell people is the moment I hear that you're afraid to say that name, I make you call me Mr. Lifshitz. Not Bryan, not Mr. Bryan. Whoever does it, that's the next thing. That name I was afraid of when I was younger, and I take it and I hold it as high as I possibly can. All right, hard to see, there's me. I was born in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm the youngest of 3. I love to play outside in the backyard. In South Africa, we usually had large yards. Nobody played out front. It was a little unsafe. So one thing I want you guys to start noticing is the hair. Nice and curly there. So, skipping as far as I possibly can, my father and our family diamond business needed to expand internationally from South Africa. My father picked the United States. He picked Southern California. This is actually a picture of us landing in New York on Thanksgiving Day. Now remember, pre-internet, we had no idea it was Thanksgiving. We arrived and everything was closed. So it's a great way to start your new journey. So some other things here, brands. We all love brands. I'm an 80s kid, 90s kid, so Smurfs, WWF Wrestling, Lego, which I still play with. I love brands and they mean something to me. Look at the hair, nice and straight now. All right, this is only like a year in between. So not only something you might not know about me, not only do I love breakfast, but I also love Superman. So here's a picture of me eating my breakfast with my Superman jammies on back in the day. This particular kitchen counter, I'm just bringing it up because I always love to dream, and I dream of flying. One day I got up on that counter and I thought I could fly, so I jumped off onto an open dishwasher and smashed my face and broke some teeth, but my mom always brings it up to me. You guys notice the curly hair again? All right, in 1985 was one of the best days of our life. Our family became U.S. citizens. My mom reminds me every Thanksgiving of how many years we've been here, so I'm very thankful. I love being an African American. Notice the straight hair again. Notice the straight hair again. Like most families in the 80s, we took amazing photos, right? You guys all have these photos. So if you notice here, I'm going to call out myself, the ripped jeans, peg legs, and my Birkenstocks. And the socks, of course, yeah. But what you got to notice is my mom is the center of our universe. She's got 4 men around her. And she is the center of all of our universe. Back to the hair again. Starting to get a little out of control. All right, so go back real quick. These are my 2 older brothers. One of them you guys met 2 weeks ago. The other one, I don't think many have met. He's a brain scientist, and he's our wanderer child that you met last week. So notice them on the ends there. Here's a nice picture, and I put this back up so you guys can understand kind of my why. And this is, I've said it before, I'm going to make sure you guys understand it again, that I learned a few years ago about my why. I didn't know what that meant, but after having a class with George and Barbara, something came across the table and my why kind of came out. And my why was, I've always been told by my brothers to shut up, sit down, be quiet, nobody cares what you have to say. There's the wall, go talk to it, have fun by yourself. Little did I know, years later, I've grown up into what I consider to be a man and a professional that loves marketing and advertising, which essentially is screaming to the top of my lungs, your brand, your message, and to make sure people remember you. So that's kind of my why and my passion. Fast forward 25 years. This is a couple of years ago, my brother's 40th. So you can see how we change. We still love each other, and I'm trying to rise to the top so I can tell them to shut up, sit down, and be quiet. Yes, I still have hair. I still have hair, and we're getting there. All right. Because my family's from around the world, my roots are in Germany and Poland, and because we lived in South Africa, I've got family all over the world. I have cousins in 5 countries. These are some of the places that I get to visit when I go to South Africa and Australia, because they're at the ends of the world, and you have to stop somewhere in between, so we make a lot of great trips out of it. Travel is a part of who I am. An experience. In 1994, my older brother came to me and said, I want to go to Woodstock. I went, sweet, I want to go to Woodstock too. I love concerts. I was 17. Again, no internet, no cell phones. I asked a girl in my high school, hey, you want to go to New York with me to see a concert? She said, sure, why not? 3-day event. My mom said yes. She bought the ticket. My brother bought the concert ticket, and we went to New York. It was crazy. It was an experience of a lifetime, and the best part of that experience, other than the 3 days of mud and rain like 69, which I watched videos of to see the similarities, that shower on Monday morning was the best day of my life because I basically lived in mud for 3 days. So back to the hair. All right, so this is high school. In high school, my brothers and I realized our hair was a little crazy. And so as we got older, I started distinguishing my brand and who I was. I started letting my hair go, and people around knew me as the guy with the afro. And I was white. So with that, this is my high school yearbook picture. It's a little hard to see the background here. This is going to college, starting to, get professional, right? You got the suit and the tie with that big afro. All of my driver's licenses until I moved to Arizona, my hair touched all 4 corners of the rectangle. And I put it like that for purpose. So there we go. This is me when I graduated college. I said, I'm going off to get a real job. I want to have some fun. So I asked my sister-in-law to dye my hair. I thought it was going to be platinum blonde. It turned orange. So you'll see that it was exciting. I was a little drunk and fun, and I was about to graduate and everything. And we dyed my hair back the next day because I had to get a job. Really quickly, I was a marketing coordinator for this company where we were able to put our products in the movie Dodgeball. I introduced Ben Stiller to our marketing department, which got our products in that movie. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to go really quickly. That's a quote. I'm going to skip that one. Fears. I hate being dirty. Okay. I love driving fast. I thought 106 was fast. Everybody was passing me at 150. I'm holy, right? I've got my holy shirt, and I'm also an ordained minister. Really crazy. Anybody want me to marry them, let me know. I don't mind dressing up. At that previous company, I won $100, first place for parading in front of 300 employees and giving the president of the company a hug in that outfit. Piggyback rider, huge part of my life. This is why I do it. There's my daughter. My brother made a product, and then he sent it to me. My wife said, it looks like you're having a hard time with the daughter. I said, great. She came out, brought me the prototype. I used it, and the rest was history. Quick photo of my grandfather back in the day carrying me. Now me carrying my daughter on the newest innovation out there. We have celebrities using it. Liev Schreiber, Naomi Watts. This is Aaron Ralston, the guy that cut his arm off rock climbing. And Tori Spelling and her husband Dean McDermott. And I'm going to wrap up here. So this is the best accidental PR that's ever happened. There was an issue, an accident that happened over my house. And long story short, I was down at the city of Phoenix giving a presentation where one of the councilmen came up to me and said, you speak really well. And I said, really? Wow, I don't even know what I said. I just tried to take as much time as I could because I was in front of like hundreds of cameras, right? Afterwards, he said, have you ever thought about politics? And I said, no, but that launched me back to when I was in high school. And this is where it comes full circle. I told my friends when I was 15, I would be president of the United States. And it's funny that, we're about to nominate somebody here soon. They laughed at me and said, you can't even think like that. You weren't born here. You cannot be president. And I said, but I would be. And they said, but you can't be, so you can't even think like that. And so I want you to all understand, we're all told lots of things in lives that we can't do. But what I'm telling you is I'm going to be the mayor of Phoenix 20-something. That is my goal of the future. You will see the Real Shit sign all over town. So with that, in closing, these are referrals, which hopefully Bryan will leave up on the screen. You can read those as we go along, but vote for Bryan Lifshitz, the Real Shits, in 20-something.